Hey, I was thinking that when you were about 5 years old, you were already thinking like a scientist. I mean, you knew that if you took your little toy and dropped it onto your pillow on your bed, that it probably wouldn't break. You knew that when you drop things, they go down, not up. Um, There are a lot of things you understood scientifically, even as a 5-year-old. I'm thinking of you as this little 5-year-old child, and there's wind blowing on your face and wind blowing through your hair. And as you're feeling the wind blow, you're also seeing this tree, and there are all these leaves that are moving, and you're feeling the wind on you, and the leaves are moving. And some lady walks up to you and says, "Hey, little kid, you see all those leaves moving on the tree?" Yes, ma'am. Um, and as you feel the wind going against your face, she says to you, "Do you know what's making all those leaves move? There are tiny little invisible angels. And one of them has each one of those leaves. And that angel is hiding behind the leaf and shaking it and shaking it. And I bet you might have looked up at this wacko lady and said something like, oh, thank you. That's so nice. Well, under your breath, you were saying something like, it's the flipping wind, you idiot. Um, so even as a little child, you were thinking scientifically, but you were certainly not taught to think scientifically about yourself or to understand your own emotions, your own thoughts, your own behavior through anything that had anything to do with science. I don't think so. I know that I better not, when I was a little guy, explain myself scientifically. I mean, Dad walks in the room and he points at me and he says, "Why did you do that?" I I was tempted to give him the scientific answer. Uh, Gosh, Dad, you can probably understand all human behavior based on genetic and environmental influences and how billions of factors are connecting to each other and causing things to happen all the way back through time. So there you go. Have a nice day. I would have just gotten smacked on the mouth and told to go clean my room or something because I don't think they were looking for me to apply science to myself. So, how did you learn to understand yourself? Because everything else was science, everything else was cause and effect. But the way that you were explained to you was through moralistic thinking, such as good girl, or I'm so disappointed in you. Lazy, industrious, generous, stingy, naughty, nice, nasty, sweet, um, and zero science. So, what was going on with your parents, your teachers, and certainly, um, I guess, everybody else you ran into? How did it come to be that they would explain you to yourself without any um, science, but instead moralistic silliness? I think because they were looking to control you. And I don't know, folks, but I think they've been controlling you just about long enough. You know, I mean, people get to be 80 years old and their mother is still controlling them um, from some kind of weird seed that was planted a long time ago. So I would suggest that I don't think it's possible that I'm going to see things exactly like you do because I don't have the ability to occupy the space you're in and look exactly through your eyes. So let's say we were both looking at a flower and you're standing next to me. Are you seeing exactly what I'm seeing? Of course not. It's a bit different. So as I see it, there's a different viewpoint, a different perspective, and different perspective, different view, um, uh, different way of seeing things would give additional information. Additional information might be contributing to additional knowledge. Knowledge is power. Um, And what I'm all about is causing each of you to have power. And if you have power, I'd like you to have more power. And what are you going to do with all that power? Well, I think one thing you could do with all that power is get yourself thinking, feeling, acting, reacting, interacting more to your liking, because you would have the power to have an effect on the way you think, feel, act, how things go. But I want you to have plenty of power. I'd like you to be able to have the ability to influence and shift your world, all that stuff that's around you, including all those folks that you interact with regularly. So yeah, I would really like you to have more power over you, but also more power over him and her. Um, so as I'm talking to somebody, it's unlikely that that person will have somebody will have the same issue you have. You know, like Samuel, if you're listening to this gal talking about how frustrated she is that she hasn't been able to get pregnant, I'm not expecting you to learn anything by trying to identify with her and finding out where you feel bad about not being pregnant. Um, so then, is it useless? I don't think so. I think even with a situation like Samuel listening to that, he can perhaps find something in how the perspective, how the viewpoint shifted that will cause him to gain something. What do we want him to gain? Power. Power to do what? Have things the way he'd like them. Um, I I have a sense with you folks that if things were the way you would like them to be, that would improve the world. If you caught today's headline, you notice it could use a bit of improvement. So um, that's what my job is to see if we can get better headlines by perhaps getting things to be working. Um, uh, it's still better for you, more power.